This is my video journal. It's not intended to be advice or guidance. I'm just expressing what I'm thinking and feeling in the present moment. Right now, I am in a place called Mount Me, which is on the north side of Brisbane, on this beautiful property that Tara has been kind enough to share with me. I met Tara through social media, like so many of you. She was having a hard time, and I connected her with some resources that helped her heal, and we stayed in touch. And then I'm actually doing another holographic kinetics course over in Morayfield down here in the valley. Well, it's not the valley, but it's like down there. It's down in there somewhere in Brisbane. That's Moreton Island in the background there. If I can zoom in, you can't really tell, eh? That's Moreton Island, apparently. Could be wrong. So, yeah, this beautiful place. She's got a really beautiful dog as well. I posted on Instagram. It's like one of those big white floofy dogs. And it's just, yeah, life is good. There's a lot to catch up on. Like, this is my journal, and I want to document as much as possible, like the journey. And I've been absent from the journal for a while, just to be present with myself and actually experience some things without feeling like I'm wearing my heart on my shoulder so much, and everybody's like watching me go through this stuff, because it's been quite intense. But it's so beautiful, challenging, beautiful, intense, magic. So I guess first things first, I broke up with Amy. I decided to break up with her while I was in Cairns for there's a whole build up to it, a whole variety of reasons that I don't really want to share yet. I just want to be with it for a minute. But there are some things that I want to share, but I'm just being mindful of what I'm creating in the present moment by documenting this. So just before I start diving deep into my emotional state, I want to show you some cool things. Some really, really cool things. So I've moved out of that place at Kirra on the beach there. That's where I lived with Amy. And I've moved into this vehicle, which I bought in Cairns for $8,000. And as you can see, it has a rooftop tent, and all of my like mattress and blankets and pillows and everything are in there, and it folds off the top of the car in like one step pretty much. You pull a ladder out and pull the ladder down, and the ladder sort of supports it, and it's like twice as wide as you can see there, kind of thing. It pulls off to the side. And I've also got a swag in one of those toolboxes with a sleeping bag and blanket and pillow in there that rolls out really quick and easy, even easier than the tent. So sleep under the stars at all these different places. That's what I've been doing. Been sleeping under cooking over an open fire, swimming everywhere that I go, because I've been up in North Queensland for like 3 weeks before I was here, and it's like summer up there still. So yeah, we're just making the most of it. I've seen so many beautiful waterfalls. I've had so many beautiful experiences. There's like heaps more that I want to share, but I'm not ready to share it in this space, like with like a public YouTube channel. But I wanted to like at least break the ice on this journal again, and like get back to sharing something. I'm gonna sit down here because like I want to share now. It's getting I'm getting back to really, really wanting to share because I'm getting really, really excited again. Before, I was kind of in a place where I wasn't excited to share because the picture of my life actually wasn't that crash hot. Felt like I had to omit like so much of myself to show up on my journals because I wasn't allowed to talk about certain things or it would upset people. And I had a lot of dramas going on in the background and like sort of upholding this image of my life that was a lie. And I wasn't doing that because I wanted to do that. I was doing that because other people were pressuring me to do that. Or not even directly pressuring, like it was just a big, heavy mess of shit in my life. And so I'm sort of leaving all that behind. And yeah, it's a massive relief. Like people, my brother and different people have messaged me checking if I'm okay. And that assumption when there's a breakup, a 5.5-year relationship, like of course it's painful, but the breakup didn't happen. It's not a sudden thing. Like there was last year in winter, I moved out of the house and I was living in Brisbane half the time and living in Kirra half the time. It's kind of like a trial half separation. And that kind of made us a little bit stronger. Like me and Amy felt a little bit better, felt a little bit more independent and a little bit more free to be me and like get away from all of the things that were making me feel trapped. So I moved back, I quit the job at the tattoo studio, I got back in alignment with what I want to do because I'm not interested in working for a tattoo studio. That was just bread and butter money, like just making a bit of money so that I could have a bit more freedom. What I really want to do is what I'm doing now, like sharing and creating. And I also obviously want to work in helping people heal themselves, which is the holographic kinetics and the mental health peer work. Those things, like I know what I want to do, but there's just been a lot of obstacles that don't belong to me getting in the way. Particularly because of the metaphysical side of things. Like mainstream doesn't acknowledge the metaphysical. Mainstream doesn't acknowledge like spirit and all of these dimensions that we're looking at and all these lenses that we're viewing reality through. They're not accepted by people in my old life that I've left behind. So yeah, after we moved back together, I'm not sure if it's still, like, if it's documented publicly or not, but at Christmas time I left again for 10 days and I was pretty adamant. I'm just gonna leave, I'm gonna just have a swag and I'm gonna sleep under the stars, all the things that I'm doing now. I set that intention at Christmas time. And I went down to see my family and they sort of talked me out of it. They're like, that's too much, that's too crazy, you can't just go wandering around the country with nothing, that's crazy. And they love Amy, everyone loves Amy, I love Amy, she's a beautiful person. And yeah, my family wasn't ready to let her go. I guess I wasn't ready to let her go, obviously. And yeah, it was really my dad ultimately that said, she's just a great girl, don't let her go. But the thing is, like, nobody sees the whole picture of the relationship that you're in. Only I know what it's actually like, and only I know how my boundaries have been violated and how much suffering and trauma is being created through that relationship. And it is beautiful. All the beautiful things that you see are real. but there's like another side to that coin, and it's painful and it's hurt me a lot, and I just need to move on from it. And for a long time I was holding on to the idea that Amy would heal herself as well, and she would sort of join me on this journey of self-discovery and healing, and leaving all of the shit behind, and putting up those firm boundaries and telling people to get fucked, like, and going on this journey together. I had this beautiful image of us, like, yeah, healing and growing and thriving, and I was really excited for it, but just we didn't share it, and I just kept projecting it onto her. And she would even say to me, I'm not that, I'm not her, I'm not this person that you're imagining. And so I feel kind of bad for keeping us in that for so long as well. Like, I'm responsible for that as well. I'm mostly responsible for that, because she was ready way before I was ready to let it go. But that's like, you know, the idea that you don't just give up on somebody, you know, like in a relationship it should be hard work and all those kinds of things. Like it's not meant to be easy, all those limiting beliefs. Of course, like, you do work hard in relationships, you do things for each other, but it's not what that was like. See, I was hearing all of those things, and I was getting all this advice from people, that unsolicited advice. I'm not asking for anybody's opinion. They would just throw it at me because they love Amy. But like I said, nobody knows what I've actually been through. And nobody knows, like, all the feelings that I've felt and all the emotions and all the experiences. And to be honest, I'd still be there. Like, I would still be with her. I don't care how much shit I have to go through because I love her. But I went up to North Queensland for 3 weeks, and I just had some experiences that showed me how my life could be, like a preview from the universe. Like, just like the polar opposite of my relationship with Amy started to form with it. Okay, so I'm telling the story now. It feels too big. And it feels like I still have some stuff inside me that says, like I've still got all this stuff from my relationship with Amy that says, like, I've got to mind my own business and only share things that don't involve others. Whereas, like, I'm sure people who are in my life now would be excited to hear me share all of the beautiful things from my perspective of how I've experienced these experiences. Am I just speaking gibberish now? Just because I'm, like, trying to stop myself. In my old relationship, I really got boxed into a place where I felt like I couldn't share anything. And yeah, I just felt like I couldn't, I just felt like I couldn't be myself on camera. I couldn't be myself at all. And I couldn't, like, what I want to do is I want to share everything fully. Like, I want to talk about what I'm going through and get excited about it, or get upset about it if I'm upset, and just all those things like I was doing originally. Like, my original intention, just to document this journey and document everything that I learned from others on the journey, and Um, yeah, so that's how I felt before. And then I jumped in with another HK student to go up to Cairns, like in her car, and we drove up, and it started out like, why can't I share this? I think the only reason why I feel apprehensive to share this right now is because I won't do it justice from my current state. Like, I'm still in this in-between place, and I'm still processing it. But like, regardless of, you know, this relationship formed with this other person. And I didn't feel restricted. I felt encouraged. And I didn't feel like I had to. It's just distractions showing up everywhere right now. There was a galah in the yard before. Maybe it's not time, guys. Maybe it's not time. Maybe that's all that we share right now in the present moment. Now the ant's crawling on the gorilla pod. So I met someone, okay? And she's awesome. And I'm not with her. I'm by myself. I'm taking some time by myself. But I fell in love with her. Like, so quickly and so profoundly. And I feel like I never would have left the toxic relationship that I was in if I didn't get that nudge from spirit or from the universe. Like, I had to be shown what I was missing, like and have an imagination of like how it could be. Because I couldn't have imagined that. I was so stuck on like healing the relationship that I was already in, or just like being patient, like, and waiting for Amy to change. Amy doesn't need to change. Like, I've got to stop projecting onto her. Like, maybe if I just get out of the picture, she'll have a new relationship where none of these issues exist, because the new person that she ends up with doesn't activate all that stuff within the people in her life. Like, she could just be with somebody quote unquote normal who isn't interested in all this metaphysical, far out, interdimensional nonsense. It's not nonsense, but yeah, she could just be with someone normal, and like, she could be happy, and I could be happy with somebody who just, this is second nature to them as well. Like, they just get it. They're just like, of course. And now I'm surrounded by those kinds of people. Like, Tara's like that as well, who I'm staying with. Like, she's on this level of like, yeah, metaphysics, of course. Like, of course we live in a multi-dimensional world. Of course we're multi-dimensional beings. Of course there are spirits and like plant spirits, animal spirits, and entities and beings from other dimensions. Of course, like, of course there's more to the picture of reality than what we've been shown on the news or through mainstream culture, popular culture even. Although popular culture does have a lot of keys. Because, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is, like, you sound like a crazy person when you start to enter this, like, metaphysical understanding of reality. And Amy doesn't want to be perceived as like, I can't even project that onto her. I don't know what she wants, okay? I know what I want, and I want to go deeper down this rabbit hole. I want to experience what is out there to be experienced. I'm not interested in getting a fucking degree, getting a job like Terence McKenna. Like, get a degree, get a job, and then you're a player. I'm not interested. I don't want to be a player in their game. I want to play my own game. I want my own dimension. I want to experience the full spectrum of what's possible in this human vehicle. And I've begun that journey. I began it with Amy, and I thought that I would complete the journey with Amy. I thought we would be together forever, and it would just be this beautiful exploration of our world around us and ourselves, and it was, and I loved it. But yeah, I guess like I'm off now. Like I'm off on this journey. I'm leaving it all behind. I'm diving into the unknown. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling excited. Everything's like emerging, and it's beautiful, and I'm being encouraged. I'm being guided. And who knows where I'll end up in the end. But I know what's possible. I've had a taste of what's possible, like a little peek into the possible future, and I love it. And I'm moving in that direction. So right now I'm just taking the time, doing some more holographic kinetics training. Next week I'm doing some assist suicide prevention training. So that's mainstream stuff, because you got to have it all. You got to have your anchor in reality, and especially if you're gonna look into the metaphysical. But it's your anchor in reality. It's not some psychiatrist or psychologist telling you how reality is supposed to be and how you're not supposed to believe in all this nonsense. Like, I'm confident in myself to explore this stuff now. And that's cool. That's one of the coolest things. And so yeah, I'm doing all this training and stuff. I'm pretty confident in my foundations of holographic kinetics now. I could help people heal themselves of most issues that you would be able to come to me with. And on the mental health peer work side of thing, I'm even more confident in that space. So a little bit more training, a little bit more camping, traveling, meeting people, exploring, and big picture, there's going to be a website soon that's going to be like a central hub for all of it, and we'll be able to organize stuff all over the country. So if anybody's interested in Australia, now I'm a turtle. I've been joking, I'm a turtle. That's my home. I carry my home on my back. So I'll meet you anywhere in the country. That's my plan. And that's how we're going to start to collaborate. That's how we're going to start to help people heal themselves. So you will be able to book me through this website, basically, is my vision. So that's pretty exciting. And I started working on that before I left. I've been working on it for months, actually, with Third Eye Studio Australia. I'll show you guys when it's ready, obviously. Like, you'll know. It'll be on Instagram, it'll be on all the socials. If you're actually watching this much of my thoughts and feelings in the present moment, then you're probably going to know what's up. Because I started receiving a lot of calls, video calls on Instagram and different places, people wanting to meet up, people wanting to work together, and I thought, like, let's make it official, let's make it like easy to organize that. And then I thought, I want to travel around the whole country anyway, so we'll make it so that anybody in the country can book it in, and we're still trying to figure out how to do it in a way that it makes the most sense. So maybe we can like organize it so that I'm not just going from like Brisbane to Perth and then Perth to fucking Darwin. Like we can organize some way of like making it more of a trip around and hitting more closer locations along the way. But I don't even mind, man, if it ends up being I have to drive like 4 or 5 days in a row to get to a new place. It's all an experience. I love it. Like driving up to Cairns it takes 2 days minimum to drive. We originally did it in like 4 or 5 days, and we stopped at all these beautiful places and had these experiences, met all these people, and it was just fucking golden. So yeah, I have no problem like going long distance for these kinds of collaborative experiences and healing experiences. It's all going to be available soon. This is not like an ad or a product placement. It's just like sharing with you what I'm creating. And beyond that as well, like I'm working with some artists and musicians, and you know, like the only music that you've really seen from me is the joking rap about psilocybin mushrooms. That was just a bit of a goof, a bit of fun, but there's music inside me, and that'll be another thing. So it's just create. That's my intention. Like I'm just, and everything, like, yeah, it's an exciting time to be alive, and I love that. It's fucking awesome. And like I'm watching like the most beautiful sunset over the north side of Brisbane with Moreton Island in the background, and there's cows in the paddock here. Like, you know, it's as good as it gets. Even just like the people are getting more interesting that I'm attracting into my life, and my family's getting happier. It's just awesome. I'm just happy. And I guess that's that. That's my little update. I'll be around. I'll be creating. I'll be sharing. I've got so much footage. I've said so much from footage in the past, but I've got so much good footage from the trip up to North Queensland, all the places we stopped at. Just little clips of like different beautiful locations and stuff, and that'll probably be for the main channel. Probably put together like a little mini documentary with a voiceover explaining like all the things that have happened, and that's going to be fun and epic and a beautiful memory for myself, and cool to share as well. It makes me feel really good to share those kinds of things and like have other people light up inside as well. I've realized that's a big thing. Like my Goodbye Magic Mushrooms video, like it really touched people and people shared that with me, and yeah, I'm just really happy to be sharing and creating and have this like this whole new perspective and like this whole new freedom. And it's so funny, like I just like all my addictions and suicidal feelings, like it's so alien to me that it's like an afterthought to be like, yeah, by the way, I don't have that anymore. Like I'm just clear. I have energy. I have so much energy. I've been eating healthier. A bit less healthier when I'm in the shopping centre. The training's in a shopping centre. But like on the road and stuff, just eating fruit and cooking over the fire. That's like a highlight. Kangaroo stir fry. Oh man, the creative games and things, there's so much more to share. This is just like a little like surface update because I've already been talking for 29 minutes. There's just so much, and there will be so much more. Like maybe I don't even have to catch you all up. Maybe you can just, or catch myself up as well for the future when I want to know where I was at different moments in time. So if you enjoyed this video, click the like button for me, leave your comments down below. Love to touch base with a lot of you who have been connecting with me along the journey. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys very shortly.